Well, good day. So, for today's video, we're gonna talk about the first cartoon appearance of that classic, furious aquatic fowl. I'm talking about Donald Duck. So, alright.
Yeah! So, we start off with a wise little hen and her little gaggle of chicks as they go out to plant some corn. But she needs some help with the planting. Who can she get to help her? Maybe, I don't know, the farmer that lives on the farm? Or, actually, no, because she's not on a farm. She's a people bird, right? I guess. So she goes to ask her friend, Peter Pig, for some help. Which doesn't seem like a bad idea. Like, look at this guy, right? He's dancing, he's singing, he's full of corn planting energy. Should be a no-brainer. But it's really weird. As soon as she asks him for help, he gets a severe tummy ache. Really? Like, you were just dancing and singing and having a great time. Suddenly you're sick, eh? Huh? Yeah, sure. We believe you, Peter Pig. Heretic. So, seeing as that's a complete dead end, she goes to her other friend, Donald Duck. He should be able to help, right? Like, it's the same thing. He's dancing, he's singing, he's full of corn planting energy. But nay. Donald Duck somehow came down with a severe case of stomach issues. Really weird, hey? Huh. I think you should stay away from these guys, hen. Like, sounds like there's some airborne contagion going around. So sadly, the hen and her chicks go and plant the corn themselves. And they're actually doing a pretty fantastic job at it. These guys are a well-oiled machine. Putting the corn in, covering it up, watering it, like, man, it's pretty much like a moving assembly line. Why did they need help in the first place, eh? Later, the corn grew at a completely accelerated rate, and now it's time to harvest the corn. To which the hen needs some help with the harvesting. So she goes and asks her two friends, Peter and Donald, who have now started an idle hour club. And guess what? The same old stupid song and dance. Like, well, pretty much literally.
Oh, I can't help you. I'm a pig with a bellyache. Oh, I can't help you either. I'm a duck with a tummy ache. Really weird how this happened.
What a bunch of jerks, hey? One of your friends is asking you for help, and what do?
I can't.
Eventually, the corn is harvested, it's put into the hen's home, and now she is turning all of the corn into delicious, delicious food. And food of all kinds, like muffins, cakes, fritters, cornbread, soup, like you name it. She's got it. It's a frickin' smorgasbord of corn food. Actually, too much food for her and her chicks. She could probably even feed her two friends, Peter and Donald. To which she actually does ask them,
do you want to eat some corn with me?
And I know, like, most of you would be saying, like, don't do that, hen. Like, these guys are jerks to you. They didn't help you with anything. You owe them nothing. But this hen, just bless her heart, right? She's so full of love. And she's such a good person. Chicken person. That she still asks them, like, oh man, like, how sweet, hey? And suddenly, it's a miracle. Peter and Donald no longer have a tummy ache. At the drop of a hat, they just suddenly feel a whole lot better. Huh, really, really weird. You could write a medical paper on this miraculous recovery. And so they go to Hen's house to pick up a basket of corn food. And the corn food turns out to be castor oil to help them with their severe tummy aches. Oh, yes! Good on you, hen! Oh, you know what? Like, that's not even a jerk move. Like, she still made this stuff for them, right? Oh, what a nice bird lady. Huh? And to which Peter and Donald have learned a very valuable lesson. So it's all good. Hooray! And with that, that is the end of this corny tale.
So, yeah, hey, like Donald Duck there. Wow, man, like cartoons have really changed since back in the day, hey? pretty cool little cartoon for the kids though, you know? Like, it still had a pretty cool song all the way through. Although, like, if this cartoon was made today, it would definitely have a much more SpongeBob SquarePants vibe to it, probably. But still, you know, this one was pretty charming. With a good little moral to the story of it too, right? Like, you know, if you make your own food, you'll have food. If you don't make your own food, just, you know, kick yourself in the ass, I guess. Lessons learned by all. But still, you know, like, it is really cool to see the first cartoon of Donald Duck. The guy is a cartoon legend. So when we think of Donald Duck nowadays, you know, the first thing that comes to mind is a very angry duck. An absolute furious tornado of angry energy, hey? But he isn't always angry, you know, really, I guess. But as we see in this cartoon, he was always kind of a jerk, eh? But no matter how much of a jerk he is, we still love him. So this cartoon was the first cartoon appearance of all three of these characters, Donald Duck, Peter Pig, and Hen. They didn't even give her a name, hey, just Hen. It's like she had no chance at cartoon stardom. But it is kind of neat because, you know, really, especially earlier on, you really don't know which character is going to become a really popular character. You're basically just throwing spaghetti at a wall and sees what sticks. Maybe in some alternate reality, Peter Pig is like a really popular cartoon character. But still, in the end, Donald Duck won out and, like, really one of the most biggest cartoon characters ever. But yeah, hey, like, if you do like these older cartoons and you haven't seen these before, I would suggest to check them out because, you know, they are still pretty charming. But other than that, we do have some more behind the scenes kind of things with Donald Duck and some other things going on over here.
So yes indeed, hey? Donald Duck! So let us take a look at the quick start and rise to success of this legendary duck. So, Donald Duck first appeared in the book called The Adventures of Mickey Mouse in 1931, which was the first Disney book that was sold for retail. And just by looking at it, I know what you're thinking. That is supposed to be Donald Duck? Wearing green lederhosen and a hat? Are we sure that's just not some random duck? Well, you know, I guess technically yes, but also in the book, this duck is named Donald Duck. And, well, you know, this duck didn't really do much in the book, and it's kind of questionable if that is actually the Donald Duck we know and love or just some random coincidence. Either way, a few years later, Walt Disney, the person, heard voice actor Clarence Nash doing a reciting of Mary Had a Little Lamb in a very odd and distinct voice, which was almost difficult to understand. But when Walt Disney heard that voice, he thought, man, that voice sounds exactly the way a talking duck would sound. And seeing as the Walt Disney Company is in the business of making more and more cartoons featuring anthropomorphic animals, he figured, well, it's time we really make an anthropomorphic duck. And with that, he hired Nash to voice his new character, Donald Duck. Walt Disney and Dick Lundy worked together to create this new duck character. And not sure how much they really relied on the original book look of the Donald Duck character, but either way, they created a new look. Instead of this duck wearing lederhosen, they dressed him up in a sailor suit, which was done for real simple reasons. Ducks happen to spend a lot of time in and around water, and, well, so do sailors. Really that simple? And with that, boom! Donald Duck made his first appearance in our featured episode, The Wise Little Hen, in 1934, which was under the silly Symphony title. This story is based upon the fable, The Little Red Hen, by Mary Maples Dodge, first published in 1874. Also, for a quick little fun note, we see the hen and her children, but we don't see the father. Where could he be? Well, we do see in the background some pictures potentially of him as a boxer and as a prize rooster winning many ribbons. so he could have just been off in another boxing match or another pageant of sorts, I guess, which really doesn't add to the story, but it just, now you know. So it's pretty awesome to see Donald Duck for the first time in a cartoon in this episode, but it was his second appearance where he started to become a superstar. His next cartoon was in a Mickey Mouse cartoon called Orphan's Benefit in 1934, where not only Donald Duck made his first appearance alongside Mickey Mouse, which was huge, right? Like Mickey being basically the mascot of Disney and Disney's most popular character, but we also started to see a lot more of Donald Duck's more well-known traits. For example, him being a bit of an egotistical showman, his determination to complete any task no matter what, under any form of duress, in this case from the taunting of the orphan children and from Mickey, and also with Donald Duck becoming quick to anger. That and his classic stance of being ready to fight, where he hops on one leg, sticks out one fist, and starts swinging the other. Classic Donald Duck, hey? But the chemistry between these two characters was pretty fantastic, and the two would appear in more and more cartoons together, where eventually Donald Duck would get his own title of cartoons, to where his character would be fleshed out more and more, including his design would get quite a bit of an upgrade, getting a bit of a more wider bill instead of the longer, more accurate duck bill, We also seen the expansion of Donald Duck characters and his surroundings. For example, we learn more about his family, and also his girlfriend, Daisy Duck. We also learn that he lives in Duckburg, which is also the setting for the legendary TV show DuckTales. But he expanded into everything everywhere from this point on. From cartoons, to comic books, to toys, to games, to apparel, to basically everything. Which really shows you the popularity of the character, and he even went beyond all of that. He does have his own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and his footprints are also cemented in front of the Man's Chinese Theater, which, those things are pretty fantastic. But even beyond that, Disney allowed the University of Oregon to use Donald Duck's likeness for their team's mascot, which would be the Oregon Ducks. Not only that, Disney also allowed the US Coast Guard to use Donald Duck as their mascot. This was following all of Donald Duck's wartime cartoons, where he was depicted as being in the Army, not so much the Navy, which I don't understand why he's wearing a sailor suit then. But still, they felt he did a pretty good contribution to the wartime effort, in whatever way a cartoon character could, so he became the mascot of the US Coast Guard. But even beyond that, with everything Donald Duck has done with his wartime cartoons, and beyond that, with assisting in any real-life kind of efforts for the war, in any kind of promotion he could be used in, for promoting people to buy war bonds and stuff like that, the US Navy gave Donald Duck the honorary rank of Petty Officer 3rd Class. And I don't mean in a cartoon he was given this rank, no. In real life, Donald Duck has this honorary rank. Which, man, of all things, to happen to a cartoon character, that's actually pretty fantastic. But, with that, we did learn some of the origins of Donald Duck, some things beyond that of how popular this character became, and even beyond that. So, man, oh man, there is so much to talk about Donald Duck. We'll get to the main points when we get to them in other cartoons and stuff. I just wanted to give you a quick little kind of brief kind of history on what happens with this guy. So with this, that, those, and the other things, I guess that's it. Also, if you're interested, I created my own comic book channel, 215 Comics. And currently, I have created my own cartoon series, The Adventures of the Density. And recently started a radio series featuring my newest character, Elastomorph, with more titles to come. So if you want to check it out, I'll leave a link up top here to that channel, and some links at the end of the video. Yay! Right on, and there you go. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked it as much as I did making it. Also, feel free to check out the source material that I featured in this video. And if you want to leave a comment on anything you may have liked or things I might have missed in this, feel free to do so. Or anything else, just to say hi. That's cool too. And other than that, have a great day. Thanks.